Call the meeting to order. For those who care to, please rise for an opening prayer and salute to our flag. If you would, bow your heads with me. Dear my Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for the time we get to spend together. Thank you for blessing this community and blessing the citizens. Allow us to make the decisions that you want us to make. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just a couple of announcements tonight. Welcome, John O'Donnell. This is your first official meeting as the full-time finance director, so welcome aboard, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Also, welcome Mr. Chris Burris. He's the president of the Chamber of Commerce here in Republic this year, right?
Next 2 years.
Next 2 years. So we get Mr. Burris for 2 years. So welcome, sir. Appreciate you attending tonight. Welcome, Mr. Wayne Hawkins in the back. We rarely see you at a council meeting. I'm sure there's a special occasion in there, Jared.
I'm sure there is.
Fantastic. Fantastic. And Sarah, I don't want you to leave you out. You're the only other one in here, so welcome again. I'd like to open it up now to citizen participation. Anyone wishing to speak to anything not on the agenda, please come forward, state your name, sign in, and give us your best 3 minutes. Seeing none, citizen participation closed. Need a motion on the consent agenda?
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Before we go on to consent agenda, Brenda has let me know that originally the original consent agenda went out with some inaccurate minutes. Those have been corrected in all your books and all your information. They have been corrected outside as well. So just wanted to make sure that we're aware of that those were corrected, not only what public sees, but what you have in your hands. So I have a motion and a second on the consent agenda. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you very much. On the financial report, welcome, Mr. O'Donnell. Give us an overview, sir.
Thank you.
You're on.
Thank heaven. Good evening, all. It's a pleasure to be here now on a full-time basis. Trust everyone has their financial report packet. Just a few brief remarks. With respect to unrestricted cash balances, I've included the December figures for comparison, and we have an increase of approximately $1 million thanks to the property taxes that have been collected from all of us by December 31st that have been turned around and come right back to us in January. So that is most of that increase. Let's see, we have our schedule of debt outstanding, then revenue and expenses reports, both summary and the summit report. A couple of quick remarks on that. If you look at the summit report, it's not, your vision hasn't changed. We have a new font in place after we just did a major computer update last week. So that's what it's going to be looking like from now on.
I heard you stayed until 9 o'clock to get that done on a Friday, and we appreciate that.
Thank you, sir. It was a pleasure, believe me. All right. Secondly, for those of you who review the report extensively, on the year-to-date budget column, I've noticed that there were some omissions that I'm currently working on in terms of in Summit, where you have to revise the monthly totals to match up with the revenue. So that is ongoing, and that will be fixed by the next report. And thirdly, and most important, I wanted to get feedback from the council in general. It has been brought to my attention that perhaps we can be a little bit more efficient rather than providing hard copies to everyone, is perhaps emailing out the various reports as attachments to the council prior to the meeting, and thereby giving you a chance to review that. And if you have any questions, I will appreciate them well before the meeting, so that I can have answers at the meeting. So it's a matter of personal preference. If you would rather have it sent as an attachment to an email, or would prefer it in paper, or you would prefer both. So I open it up to the council.
Council, if you have a request on that, if you'd like to have that sent to you, please get your names to Brenda, and she will coordinate all that and get those emails that you request, email addresses that you request to be sent to. She will coordinate all that and then hand Mr. O'Donnell one packet, so you guys can think on that tonight as we go through it. So appreciate your willingness to do that. So, and that's, of course, if you want it in advance, we will get these in advance anyway, what comes along with the packet. But if you'd like to have those, that's certainly, just let Brenda know, she'll write them down.
And if anybody absolutely needs a paper copy, please let me know well in advance, and we will be ready for you. And then as for the sales tax report, that I will present at the next meeting because, as you know, that's the worksheet that shows the general sales tax, fire sales tax, and motor fuel tax on a monthly basis. We do not have information from Department of Revenue yet. We usually don't get it until this week through mid-month, so going forward, we'll present that at the second council meeting every month. And that is the extent of my remarks, and I will entertain your questions.
Questions, comments, discussion from Mr. O'Donnell? Anything at all? See none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. O'Donnell.
Thank you.
Councilmember, just as a reminder, get your list or get your request in to Brenda for financial report to be sent to. Okay, thank you. Mr. Krischke, anything from staff, sir? No, sir. Mr. Derrickson?
Technically, I don't think we had a motion to approve the financial report.
We did, didn't we? You're gonna kill me.
Motion to approve financial report.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Okay. All next items, nothing from you?
No.
Fantastic. You sure?
Yeah,
I can go back if
yeah,
you want to.
no.
Okay, just checking.
He was just giving you your opinion.
Apparently I was.
No, Brenda's the one that told me. No.
We'll talk later. Welcome, Mr. Keeling.
Good evening. First of all, I'd like to report that we had our annual father-daughter Valentine dance last Friday night. We had a total of 593 fathers and daughters that were in the building.
Oh, man.
Really good. It was a quality event. I want to give big thanks to our staff, specifically Jennifer Mayfield, for making it all happen. It was a good event. So.
What was our total last year, Jerry?
We were at about 490, so if we go over at that rate, we're going to need a bigger building. For sure, so.
You may have revenue for it, too. You can charge us.
No, 600 was just about all we could put in there, but it was really good.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, future community events for the remainder of February. We are currently taking registration. We're still selling in Republic Aquatic Center early bird season passes. You can buy those now through March the 13th. We're currently registering for our youth spring soccer program. That's for ages 4 to 12 years of age. That season begins on March the 10th. February 9th through February 27th is registration for our spring adult volleyball program. Those games will be played on Thursdays. The season begins the week of March the 12th. February 10th through the 26th is Arthritis Foundation Exercise Program. That's held on Tuesdays and Thursdays at the Community Center at 1:30 p.m. February 12th through March the 5th is our Okinawan Karate class at 6:30 p.m. That's for ages 6 to adults. Pre-registration is required. February 13th through 27th is Todd Academy. We host that on Fridays at 9:15 or at 10:30 a.m. That's for ages 2 to 5. February 13th and 16th is Schools Out program. That's this coming Friday and Monday for ages 6 or completed kindergarten through 12 years of age. We offer that program from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. February 14th through the 16th is Wilsons Creek National Battlefield President's Day weekend. No entrance fee at the park all weekend long. February 16th through March the 6th is registration for our junior high and high school basketball program. That's for boys and girls in grades 7 through 12. February 16th, city offices will be closed in honor of Veterans Day. In honor of President's Day. February 18th through March the 25th is Senior Wii Bowling. We hold this on Wednesdays. Various time slots are available throughout the day. February 23rd is Toddler Open Gym. We host Toddler Open Gym on Mondays at 10 a.m. for ages 0 to 5. February 23rd through March the 13th is registration for our summer adult softball program. The games will be played at Bourbon White Memorial Baseball Softball Complex. February 26th through April the 2nd is Toddler Tumbling. That's on Thursdays at 5:30 or 6:30 p.m. That's for ages 2 to 5. And February 26th is Senior Movie Day at 3 p.m. It's free at the community center, and the movie is Belle, B-E-L-L-E.
Fantastic. I'm sure Daniel's seen it twice. Thank you, Jared. I would like to mention too, Wilson's Creek National Battlefield, that President's Day weekend that Jared mentioned, there's no entrance fee. The Wilson Creek Battlefield will be raising their fees a little bit this year. I think that's the first time they've had a fee increase since, I believe it's 2008. So fees are going up just slightly at the battlefield, but probably well needed as well since they've had no fee increases for quite a few years. So wanted to bring that to everybody's attention. Board commissions and committee schedule, Board of Adjustments March 5th, Capital Improvements February 25th, City Council February 23rd and March 9th. And planning and zoning, since that is President's Day on February 16th, been moved to February 17th. So anyway, on old business and tabled items, bill number 15-03, we were needing an indemnity agreement and or a $1,000 bond or the removal of the pillars or the equipment there at Valley Park in that particular section. We do not have an assigned indemnity agreement or the items have not been moved. So would like to ask for a motion to table bill number 15-03 until the February 23rd meeting. Motion to table.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to table. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you very much. On to new business, I'd like to have a motion to have the first reading of bill number 15-04.
Motion. Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri adopting the job description for the position of a park maintenance supervisor within the Parks and Recreation Department.
Thank you, Brenda. Welcome, Mr. Keeling. Give us an overview, sir.
Thanks, sir. This agenda item would formally adopt and set forth a job description for the position of park maintenance supervisor within our department. We're made up of multiple divisions. Our maintenance division is made up of facility maintenance division and park maintenance division. The park maintenance division directly oversees the general care and groundskeeping of all of our parks, 150 plus acres, and they also take care of the islands throughout town, Highway 60, Hampton and Hines, those type of things, and the grounds immediately surrounding all of our municipal facilities. Over the past couple of years, and Wayne Hawkins is here tonight, our parking facility maintenance superintendent is here to answer a question as well. Wayne and I have been developing a staff plan to look not only at our short term of where we're at now, but also long term where we want to be. We've taken on quite a bit of extra land and responsibilities in the last couple of years. Our park maintenance crews are keeping up, but they could really need and are in need of an effective leader in the field. Wayne is, through the nature of his position, can't be out there with them a lot. He's mostly tied to his desk now, either procuring supplies or setting plans or looking forward to the future. Could really use a person out in the field with our guys, daily interaction, leading them, guiding them, ensuring quality workmanship, making plans for the day, just being out there with them, hands-on, day-to-day. That's what this position is for and about. What we're proposing to do in 2015 is just promote from within. We're not going to backfill at this time, so it won't be a new staff member for us. The impact salary-wise, well, if we internally promote a park maintenance worker 1 or park maintenance worker 2, would be anywhere from $2,500 to $6,000.
Thank you. Questions, comments, discussion, Mr. Keeling? We have a pool of candidates that will fill a position, that fulfill the qualifications as well.
Every one of our employees that is a 1 or a 2, park maintenance worker 1 or 2, will meet the qualifications. We at this point don't know who will apply. They may 1 or none or all 4, but hopefully they will.
Do we have a schedule for training?
We do. This position doesn't have any direct requirements, certifications. That's just because there's not any out there in our field, other than arborist or playground inspector, which we pick those up in the 1 and 2 positions. However, we will send them to leadership and supervisory training.
All right, thank you. Mr. Wilson?
For clarification, how many permanent people do you have?
We have 4 permanent, and seasonally we are up to about 12 or 14. And we employ those seasonals for anywhere from 7 to 8 months out of the year.
So I take it the person will be picked out of the four.
That is correct. No backfilling of the voided position at this time, so.
Additional questions, comments, discussion? Timeframe?
Obviously, this will require a second read, but we're hopeful to do that internal promotion process during the month of March and get the person on board latter part of March, first part of April, so.
Thanks. Anything else, Council? Mr. Wilson, or Mr. Bashirs. You're next. Sorry. Mr. Bashirs, go ahead, sir.
Jared, on the description there, you have that the funds were allocated in the 15 budget for the additional payroll expense.
Correct.
Would be the additional, the 2,500 and the 6,000 we're talking about, or the almost 31,000?
We budgeted the maximum amount that would be the over of the existing person in the position that should they get the promotion. So the maximum would be 6,000.
Okay.
If our worker in park maintenance worker one position got promoted, that maximum would be 6,000. That's what we budgeted for, $6,000
Not
extra.
the 31.
Right. If a park maintenance worker two that got it, the difference would be about $2,500.
Mr. Harder?
By not backfilling that position, what kind of void are going to be fencing? Is it going to be?
This is a working supervisor position, so we'll be at the same work as far as productivity levels. Now, long-term, 16, 17, we might look to backfill, but we are picking up more seasonal help than we ever have before. As you can imagine, December and January, that's when we're doing all of our planning and getting ready for the next time, so we're not trying to have a lot of staff members on during those cold weather months, so.
All right. 2 months to be shorter.
Right.
Additional questions, comments, discussion? Seeing none, this is a first read. If you have questions or comments between now and the next meeting, please contact Mr. Kennedy. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
On the next item, I'd like to have a motion to have the first reading of bill number 15-05.
Motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, authorizing the execution of a program services contract with the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services.
Thank you, Brenda. Welcome, Mr. Brown. Give us the overview, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. Late last year, staff submitted a grant application to the Missouri Department of Health to requesting funds to replace equipment for the city's fluoridation system. We found out just a couple weeks ago that our grant has been awarded, and the council agenda tonight is to authorize a contract which would govern the processing of the grant funds and purchasing equipment. The dollar amount of the grant is just a bit over $6,900. Materials we're purchasing, these are the primary components of what's needed to do our fluoridation: chemical feed pumps, scales, transfer pumps, lab equipment, and repairs. This will essentially refit all 4 of our wells with the exact same equipment. As you might imagine, over time, we've replaced bits and pieces here and there, so we do have a need for a number of replacements. With the grant application here, we get the boost of doing every single installation all at once with all new equipment.
Questions, comments, discussion from Mr. Brown. Mr. Wilson.
This says that the contract will end 9/30. You expect to have everything in place by then?
Absolutely. This is really a pretty short term. Once we get the preliminary things out of the way, the paperwork, I would expect to take us less than 45 days. It's pretty common equipment to be able to purchase and get installed.
Easy to get to.
Yes, sir.
Unlike the pumps.
It looks like that amount covers the entire cost.
It does. I mean, we will have some bits and pieces, some piping and stuff that won't be replaced, but this really is I would say 90% if you were to essentially be starting from scratch.
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you.
Additional questions, comments, discussion? Seeing none, this is a first read. If you have questions or comments between now and the next meeting, please contact Mr. Bryan. On to other business, resolution number 15-R-05 is tied to bill number 15-03 regarding the Valley Park indemnity agreement. Since we do not have that, I would like to have a motion to table to the February 23rd meeting, resolution number 15-R-05.
Motion?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries 8-0. Thank you very much. On the next item, resolution number 15-R-06, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, approving the purchase of a handheld GPS receiver. Would like to have a motion.
Motion?
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Mr. Brock, welcome, sir. Give us the overview.
Thank you, Mayor. One of the items in our 2015 budget is our funding to replace a GPS receiver. This is a part of our mapping equipment. We use this equipment to map our infrastructure, manholes, water valves, recently branched into storm sewer facilities. Our current unit we purchased in 2008. It's well past its warranty. A lot of wear and tear. You'll find a little bit of duct tape and super glue in places, and we're asking to trade that in, so to speak, with a new model. We've got a lot of man hours invested in training. I would say probably 20% of our staff is capable of taking this equipment out in the field and doing mapping for us. It is a sole source item. The Trimble model that we're wanting to purchase, there's one authorized dealer in Southwest Missouri. They've given us a very good proposal with a trade-in value for our old unit. We have a flat $9,000 budgeted. The proposal we have with across the board 3-year warranties, both for the hardware and the software licensing, would put us just above our budget dollar amount by about $335. We can back that down and get under budget by eliminating the extended warranty on the actual GPS unit, reducing that down to 1 year. But we would suffer a bit if we go and try to purchase that extended warranty at a later date. Essentially, we'd end up spending about $200 more overall. So we are asking for a slightly above our budget amount of $9,000 and requesting authorization to purchase the GPS receiver and associated software at $9,335.
Questions, comments, discussion for Mr. Brock. Mr. Harder?
Did you say you had a trade-in value on that or all?
We do, yes.
What would that equal? I'm sorry, I can't see. Okay, never mind. Thank you. I was looking forward to it.
And that was purchased, I think when we purchased that unit, it was about $5,800. I would just add, I mentioned this is mapping grade. The focus is more on quantity rather than quality. In just a couple of minutes, you can tie into the satellites and get within a foot and be able to come back to that location anytime you want. The next step up, and we are budgeted for equipment in this area, is survey grade equipment, and that's where you're wanting to get down to sub-centimeter accuracy. So I don't know, many of you probably have GPS units in your vehicles. Some of you might, and I'm trying to think of what the enthusiasts call it, that go out and look for, there you go, geocaching. Those are generally 40 to 50 feet.
They run off geofences. Google Maps. Sorry.
The cars are usually about 3-foot accuracy, something like that.
If you have, in this unit here, we have an external antenna we tie into, MoDOT has a real-time correction network that we tie into. Just depending on the conditions, this equipment will get you down to a sub-inch accuracy. But a lot of what we do, you just don't need all those things to line up. It's, a hydrant isn't going to jump too far out of the way. Water valves, I mean, that's where you want the sub-foot accuracy, because those do get covered up. And, and you come back and try to find those, that would help.
So this is all the accuracy you're needing at the moment?
Yes, for our field mapping, yes, sir.
Additional questions, comments, discussion, Mr. Brown? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. On the next item on the agenda, Resolution number 15-R-07, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri to approve the purchase of 3 new police vehicles. I'd like to have a motion.
Motion?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Welcome, Chief Hines. Please give us an overview, sir.
Well, you were gracious enough to put in the budget enough money to buy 3 replacement vehicles this year. And I regret to tell you that there really is no historical fleet plan. So to say that these 3 vehicles are a process that we began several years ago to look towards changing out, that's not the way it's been working. That process is in the works to be completely changed right now. But suffice it to say that these 3 vehicles have proven, the Explorer in particular, to be the most economical running vehicles that we have. No disrespect to Dodge, but they have been an amazing financial drain on us, and the Explorers have just done phenomenal. They are V6, they're pretty slow, which is good for a police car. We don't want, the Hemi police cars are a bad idea. They are very expensive to run, and they are way faster than we need in Republic, Missouri for police cars, in my opinion. And they're more expensive, fuel economy and all that. And we're in budget too. The amount budgeted is more than we need to buy the vehicles. We do have some issues with equipping them. We've got a plan to do that without going into the red. The red lights, the pieces and parts that make these things work beyond the car itself, they do wear out, and all 3 of these vehicles will need new lights. But we've got a little bit of a plan to equip them slightly different, make 2 of these supervisor vehicles which won't haul prisoners, not put cages in them. Historically, the supervisors are not transporting prisoners anyway. So the ordinary cost of about $12,500 total with computer and everything, we're going to knock down to, we think, around $5,000 and be able to stay within budget. But the vehicles will not be exactly like the other Explorers in that they'll be exclusively for supervisors and just have less stuff in them.
Questions, comments, discussion for Chief Hines? Mr. Punkenberry.
Does limiting stuff create a flexibility issue, or if a car's down or out of commission or gets totaled by somebody or whatever, you know, having vehicles that can do a lot of the same types of things allows the flexibility to move them around too? Is having that many cars in the fleet that are designated as supervisor only, will that be an issue?
The only issue is on the cage itself. There's nothing else functionally different. We're going to put a different style of red light on them. They still work exactly the same way. They're not as expensive. The highway patrols transported prisoners without cages since 1933. If we had to haul someone without a cage, unless they're kicking, fighting, spitting, biting, that sort of thing, we could sure do it. So to answer your question directly, no. But the primary difference would be the cage capability, and our goal has always been to leave supervisors on duty, not in Springfield dropping off prisoners, so we would probably swap to another vehicle if we did have to move a prisoner.
And the video camera capability, has that changed at all, or are we doing that in all of the new vehicles?
We're not. If we put a video in each vehicle, they're $7,100, and we have no budget for that. The biggest issue is really not the video camera, it's the storage capability. That data has to go somewhere.
Sure.
And very overly simplistic to say, let's put videos on cops and on cars. That's the small part. The hard part is the amount of data we have to store. And so, absent some direction from you, I'm fine to take it. The videos are really not a high priority for me. I love the idea of being able to use video because historically they bail the cops out.
Sure.
They really do. But when you have a good budget, I think this is a very generous budget actually, but no fluff in there. If I were to take the money to put video on all the cars, we wouldn't have cars.
Sure.
That's kind of where we're at.
All those types of things, are they about the same price if you decided to retrofit later, or is it a significant cost increase?
I think they're actually getting cheaper as time goes on. The officer videos are very inexpensive. Again, the data storage is the key. The vehicle video, by virtue of their obligation to maintain their integrity in crashes and stuff, are much more expensive. But there's a lot of competition now. Post-Ferguson, actually, I've seen some dramatic shifts with manufacturers trying to, get on board and take advantage of the push. So we would likely be able to video equip next year cheaper than this year.
Okay.
But right now, they're just simply not budgeted for the vehicle. This $79,000 is for 3 vehicles, and then we're just looking at our $30,000 operating cost. That's repair and maintenance. That's where our money comes from to equip them.
Sure.
So we're trying just to kind of rob pieces we can save and equip in a different way to stay within budget.
Appreciate the answers. Additional questions, comments, discussion for Chief Holmes? Chief Holmes, which vehicles are we eliminating out of the matrix?
The actual numbers,
Just the vehicles
I
themselves?
can give you the car numbers.
Okay.
1004, 143,000 miles.
What type is it, Crown Vic?
That is a Crown Vic, 2003. Yes, sir. We're basically, we'll be completely out of the Crown Vic business.
Okay.
And the Crown Vics have been good cars. Historically, they've been good cars, but Ford doesn't make them anymore, and these have got a lot of miles on them. But we're pretty much going to be out of the Crown Vic business, and I see the Explorers serving us. I mean, we've got several in the fleet right now with 50,000 miles. We've not turned a wrench on them. And for a police car, that's just phenomenal. And the room in them, and then the safety. They're built with an X-frame. They can take a 75-mile-an-hour rear-end crash, hit from behind. And like I said, the 6-cylinder is plenty peppy. It gets the best mileage of any police vehicle made, and it's just a great balance. Very visible. They don't really look like a kind of in-your-face, police car. They just look like something your wife would drive, and there's no harm in that.
Any additional questions, comments, discussion, Mr. Clinkenberry?
This may be for Jim too, but are these getting traded in, or are these going to the school as part of that lease program and then getting rid of some of their other vehicles, or where's the loop on that?
One of the vehicles, at the end of the agenda, will be a resolution. We'll get rid of one of the Crown Vics through, hopefully through a bid from another police agency. As for the school district, we can contact them and see if they have a need for a new vehicle. I know they do have one vehicle that is currently down, so no doubt they probably are desirous of having a vehicle, so we do have that agreement in place, so we'll check with them on the one. And then I believe if there was a third vehicle, or there will be a third vehicle, that one could be traded in for potential new detective vehicle.
Thank you. Additional questions, comments, discussion? Thank you, Chief Himes.
Thank you, sir.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries. On to the next item on the agenda, resolution number 15-R-08, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Public, Missouri, awarding the bid for the supply and installation of new carpeting and tile for the community rooms of the Republic Community Center. Welcome, Mr. Keeley. Give us the overview, sir.
Thanks, sir. Carpets
Need a
in the...
motion?
Sorry.
Need a motion, sorry.
Motion.
Second.
A motion and a second. Thank you. I got you covered. Don't worry.
You're making me antsy.
When the attorney starts moving over here very quickly, there's something wrong. Mr. Keeley, my apologies. Please give us an overview, sir.
Existing carpeting in the community rooms A and B of the Republic Community Center is in need of a replacement. When we opened the building in October of 2003, we had industrial-grade carpet squares in there. Those lasted us about 8 or 9 years, which wasn't too bad, but we went with a little less product. It cost us about half as much, and they lasted about half as long, about 4 or 5 years. But now is the time we definitely need it to be replaced. As you guys know, that it's an extremely high volume through there. We're proposing to go back to the industrial-grade carpet squares, and then we're going to come in with tile in the main food service areas, hopeful to, expand the longevity of that flooring. Right there in community room B, right off the kitchen, is traditionally where people serve their food. You know, a lot of spills and a lot of drinks and food on the floor there, so we're going to do tile in that part of it. We had a very competitive bid process. Ultimately, Midwest Rug provided the lowest bid. We have done business with Midwest Rug before. We haven't impressed with their service and work. That bid is in the amount of $8,919. I will say, to save a little bit of money, we are going to do the rip-out ourselves of the old carpet.
Fair enough. And disposal as well?
That's correct.
Questions, comments, discussion, Mr. Wilson?
Are you gonna tile the kitchen also?
We are gonna leave that stained concrete. It is stained concrete now. You talking about the kitchen off of B?
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna leave it stained concrete now. Obviously, that's not visible, you know, for the main people that are having their meetings. It's stained concrete now and really have no issues with it back there.
Additional questions, comments, discussion? Anything at all? Mr. Clinkenbeard?
The tiles that we have chosen, have we tested them somewhere to make sure? A lot of people will be in there with dress shoes and things like that, and if, you know,
Certainly.
drinks or something do go on the floor, those tiles can get extremely slick.
Sure. I'll probably let Wayne speak to that as far as the type of tile we use. We've chosen a larger top tile, which I do believe will look good, but Wayne, do you have anything to add to that?
Come on up, Wayne.
He's gonna be up anywhere for the next one.
Oh, good. He gets to stand for a while.
I've seen that in a lot of places where they go out and pick it based on decorativeness, size, that type of thing, but no one tests it when water's on it or whatever, and people in dress shoes, and,
Sure.
you know, you get it in and then people are going down.
Yes, the tile that was proposed was a Sandalo 18-inch by 18-inch tile, and we haven't actually chose the color or the texture yet, but we will be keeping in mind slips and falls when we do that. Because some of the textures on some of the tiles are a lot slicker than others, so we'll be choosing one that has less potential for slips and falls.
Okay, excellent.
Additional questions, comments, discussion? Anything at all? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries 8-0. On to the next item on the agenda, resolution number 15-R-09. Resolution of the City Council of the City of Republic of Missouri awarding the bid for pole replacement and field lighting upgrades at the Bourbon White Memorial Baseball Softball Complex at Garrett Field. Would like to have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Welcome, Mr. Keeling. Mr. Wayne Hawkins.
I'm going to let Wayne speak to the differences in the bidding here in just a minute, but as you all know, we have 6 fields at Bourbon White Baseball Softball Complex and 1 over at G Field Baseball Softball. Those existing lighting poles have been out there since the fields were built. Those are all wooden poles. We had Empire come last fall to do inspection of our wooden poles, and then they re-inspected them again this spring just to verify what we found last fall. But 5 of those are in need of replacement. Over time, those have weathered obviously, gotten soft at the bottom, and then run the risk of falling over. We're doing 3 poles at the Bourbon White Complex, 55-footers, and 2 poles at G Field, 65-footers. The work obviously includes getting those poles down, putting in the new ones, but then also new cross arms on all the poles, and the transfer of the 22 light fixtures from the old poles to the new poles. There is a huge disparity here in the bid prices, and I am going to let Wayne speak to that.
You probably will notice there that there's quite a difference in the pricing there between the 3 contractors, almost a 3 times difference there. Really a couple of things that play into this. One is that Empire, of course, is obviously local. It's not one of the larger companies that comes in from out of town and has those costs. But even beyond that, Empire has a policy that with municipalities and also with nonprofits, they don't charge anything but cost, and they reduce the overhead charge. So it brings that cost way down. And in the past, Empire has done work for us at an extremely reasonable cost compared to other bids that we've had. So really, they're just doing that as part of their business and part of their policy.
Questions, comments, discussion for Mr. Hawkins or Mr. Keeling? Mr. Harder?
And that was budgeted, correct?
That's correct.
What did you have budgeted?
We actually budgeted $9,000 for, no, I'm sorry, $10,000 for the work, $10,000 for the work. Now, we do have some other expenditure, not related to this project, but we put some extra in there for additional light replacements and things like that. When we turn them all on here in March or so, we'll probably run into a few extra expenditures.
And they looked at big figures LED lights, and they looked at those.
We are actually meeting, we met with a couple of guys 2 years ago, and we're actually going to meet again within the next couple of weeks. Field lighting wouldn't be our main priority on that. Mainly parking lot lighting and interior lighting would be our first 2 as far as transferring over to LED. Field lighting, before we go that route, I would like for us to go with steel poles and then LED as well. But that's a lot of money.
Now, let me just clarify one thing before I get to you, Mr. Wilson. The Republic is one of 5 communities that Empire District Electric is testing with LED lighting. If you will go down here on Main, take a left, and go down Elm Street to the east, you will see about 6 or 7 light poles with LED lighting now. So they are testing that on a 2-year program as part of their test module for LED to see if they save money and how effective they are over time. So just wanted to bring you up to speed on that as well.
Was the street lights there?
Yes, sir. Yes. Mr. Wilson?
Basically, was gonna ask the same thing, where you're going to update the lighting on the new poles.
We're updating the cross arms only at this time, not the external fixtures, no, we are not.
I would say this will be the beginning of a continuing process. The average pole that we have out there at our ball fields is about 27 years old, and a life expectancy is about 30 years. And if you put them through asphalt, it shortens the lifespan. So those that we have at Bourbon White, where the asphalt comes up around it, it kind of tends to shorten the lifespan. They rot right at that base. You would notice on here that we are having them foam these poles in, and that foam does provide a barrier that does add a little longevity to that pole, especially when it's surrounded by asphalt.
Thank you. Additional questions, comments, discussion?
So this is part of kind of an ongoing upgrade?
Basically, I had Empire come out and we did an actual test. I mean, we poked screwdrivers in there just to see what kind of penetration you get. And we basically mapped every pole at every field and put an expected life expectancy on it. So that I know on most of those poles it's 1 to 3 years, it's 2 to 5 years, it's 5 to 7 years. So over the next year or two, we'll be rechecking the remaining poles and choosing those that are the most likely to have a problem.
How many poles do we have currently overall total out there?
Oh, I don't have a total count on that.
I would say an average of 6 per lighted field, so we have 6 lighted fields.
Close to 40.
I'll say 40. I'm replacing.
Now, a little bit more on what Lance said, and to answer your question, Mr. Jones, as far as the facility in general. Really, for the last 6 or 7 years, we've been going ongoing renovation of that. With all new dugouts, new fencing, new stems for helmets and dugouts, things like that, new backstop on Field 3. That facility was really showing signs of age, or 2005, 2006. We put a lot of money into it. We do pride ourselves, and then every dollar we take into the gate of that, we turn right back and put it right into the facility. It's starting to look a lot better out there, but there's still a ways to go as well. So.
Well, then, with that many poles, I'm just thinking you're going to be having to look at some serious outlay over the next several years and budgeting for that. And 3 years not going to cover it with safety issues.
Just out of curiosity, I did price like a four-field wagon wheel with steel and everything, and it would blow your mind. It's like $470,000 right now. So it's a lot.
I sure do like the replacement of the poles. Mr. Wilson?
This isn't the lights, but one thing while you're updating, the gates that go into the field on the east side, you need to get rid of those inner tube tires and put solid rubber on them so they're not flat all the time.
Okay. Let's take a look at that. I know exactly what you're talking about. There's a big old gate and the air tire.
Those actually have been changed to solid tires.
Good.
Yeah. I got tired of having flat tires.
It's kind of an eyesore.
Yeah.
Good questions. Additional questions, comments from Mr. Hawkins or Mr. Keeley? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you, Wayne. Thank you, Jared.
Thank you.
On to the next item, Resolution number 15-R-10, resolution of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, authorizing the city administrator to dispose of surplus vehicle and property in accordance with city policy. Would like to have a motion.
Motion.
A motion and a second. Mr. Krischke, give us the overview, sir.
Okay, we wanted to just put stuff in there instead of property, because if you look at the pictures that's attached to the exhibit, that's pretty much what it is stuff. And, we are actually not sure well, Chief Imes is going to be disposing a lot of this, since he found most of this equipment.
Is this your stuff?
Yeah.
Didn't come out of your garage or anything, did it?
The bicycle actually is staying. Police agencies are legendary, in all seriousness, for being pack rats. We don't get rid of anything ever, and this has been evidenced by what's in the basement. There are seats to vehicles we haven't owned in 6 years, I'm told. There are cages to vehicles we haven't owned in 5 years. There are, if you look at the one picture that has the computer stuff, I think there is there's a Radio Shack TR computer from 1986. There's just, I mean, it's like amazing junk. We would like to, again, within the limits of what is authorized, you could probably take some of the, like the light bars, for instance, and if someone were to commit their life to a Craigslist sort of thing and didn't worry about lights ending up on a person's car who stops people, you could probably get a little money out of some of this stuff. The lights, we would like to try to see if Hurley or some of the local fire services to maybe use them, but we definitely want them signed off by an entity that has some degree of emergency authority. But the cages and stuff, they're very, very odd shape, as you can see, because they're designed for specific vehicles. The Crown Vics are dead, and so could we maybe find a Licking, Missouri Police Department with one car that could use the cage? Maybe. The question is, how long do we commit energy and money to find it? So the vast majority of it is just junk, and that's about the best I can say about that. The car is a police car that the Ford dealership here has been excellent to work with over the years, and also now they can't fix that car. It's a Crown Vic that has some type of electronic voodoo thing going on. Aurora, the City of Aurora Police Department is willing to offer a bid on it, and we'll open it to all bids, but they're willing to take it as it is, and we would be honored for them to have it. Other than that, it's just pieces and parts and just stuff that we would like to figure out a way to move on to the landfill or to a scrap price and just bring the receipt back with the cash and give it to the finance director and just be done with it.
I've been on this council since 2005. I've never heard of electronic voodoo.
Yeah, it's the mojo is what Tinsley says it is, and there's no way to fix it. And we'd like to part company with it if we could.
Questions, comments, discussion for Mr. Christie or Chief Hines, either one.
And one other thing, this is not all of the stuff that we have to get rid of. Other departments are going through their various buildings, and if we have other things to add to that, we will try to find homes for some of the articles. If there's things that can be used by another agency, or maybe it can be scrapped out and we can get a little extra cash for it, we'll do our very best to try to get that, but a lot of it will find its way to either the recyclers or the trash.
And just to clarify, sir, if you do look very closely at the pictures, Mr. Harger mentioned the bicycle. That actually is a bicycle we use. It happens to be behind all that junk. So not everything in those pictures is going, but the vast majority of it is.
Have you checked with the Historical Society?
Well, there's some computers in there that I think predate Bill Gates. I mean, there's some.
You want to upgrade yours, Daniel? Yeah, I think so.
And just to clarify, I did take our computer technician in there to look at that stuff and confirm. I said, if this stuff all was gone and you came in and said, wow, where'd it go? How would that be? And he's like, it's all old junk, and get rid of it all.
Fantastic. Questions, comments, discussion for Chief Hines or Mr. Christie? Anybody want any of this? Really not. Anything at all? We do have a policy in place, just for everybody's understanding. We do have a policy in place on how we do eliminate excess stuff like this, surplus property. So that is what you're voting on, just to let you know. Anything else, council? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? That motion carries. I'd like to have a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Meeting adjourned. Thank you very much.